Is there anybody else that you've projected that you think you're pretty significantly higher than the consensus ECR or the industry right now that you want to shout out at any position?
Yeah, I think the most undervalued player in fantasy right now is Logan Thomas, for sure. I mean, you look at the top group of tight ends, or at least the tight end ones, and like you have Travis Kelce round 1, and then round 2 and 3 get into Darren Waller and George Kittle, and then it's like round 5 and 6 is Mark Andrews, T.J. Hawkinson, Kyle Pitts, the rookie. And then suddenly you plummet to Logan Thomas in round 9, at least on my board. You have Dallas Goedert round 7, Noah Fant round 8. I have them actually after Thomas, but Thomas just sticks out like a sore thumb. It's kind of inexcusable that the number 3 scoring tight end from last year has fallen to the 9th round. And it's not like Robert Tonyan where you're like, well, he was barely targeted. I mean, Thomas's volume was massive last year, right? Yeah. I mean, he played 92% of their snaps. He was actually number 1 at tight end in snaps in pass routes last season. He was near the top in targets, receptions, top 10 in yardage, touchdowns, expected touchdowns, end zone targets. I mean, he was below 4 targets one time last season and hit 7 and 8 of almost half of his games last year, including the playoffs where he had 9 targets. So he's a huge part of that offense. And he did it with, he had a top 10 fantasy week with 4 different quarterbacks. Yeah. None of those 4 are week 1 starters this season. I mean, it was really impressive what he pulled off last season. He has a better quarterback with Ryan Fitzpatrick now, who's a gunslinger. He'll push the ball downfield. He'll make mistakes fine, but for fantasy, we love him because he'll get his weapons to football. And of course, the pushback is, well, they added guys around him, right? But is that really a factor? I mean, they threw almost 30% of their passes to the running back last season, right? That's where you would expect that number to come down this season. They were only around league average in tight end targets. So I'm not too worried about that. With guys like Curtis Samuel and Adam Humphries and a 3rd round rookie, Brown in the mix there, I don't think that he's a major threat for a big drop in target share. Maybe a slight one, fine. But, this was the case. This was the argument last year for Darren Waller, right? Or against Darren Waller. Everybody was down on him. He was a huge value in fantasy drafts because everyone was afraid of Henry Ruggs and Bryan Edwards, the 3rd round rookie. And obviously we saw how that played out. Waller's target share went up and he had a terrific season. And I think that Logan Thomas is being knocked down draft boards unreasonably. It just doesn't make sense for me. So he's a guy for sure that jumps out.
I like that one a lot too. And as you mentioned, Fitzmagic taking over. If that offense, sure, the target share goes down a little bit, but if the quality goes up because they're in the red zone that much more often, the aggressiveness goes up higher. He's going down the seams more regularly. I mean, he's a freakish athlete. He was, I believe, a converted receiver at one point, Logan Thomas. So he can certainly get deep with best of those seam stretchers. So I like it a lot. Even if the exact target numbers goes down, I think the quality is going to exponentially increase. So I am fully with you there. What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments, check out some more videos, and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.